How does it feel? That's the question today. How does it feel to have a burning desire deep within you, and yet you're not bringing it out in the open? You're not standing in your own shoes and living your own life. You're following a different path. How does that feel? How does it feel to be without a home? To be a complete unknown, like a rolling stone? Now, if those words sound familiar to you, then you know either the new movie that's out, A Complete Unknown, or you know the song, Like a Rolling Stone, written by and performed by Bob Dylan. And it just so happened that I did go see the movie this weekend, and I was inspired by watching this little section of one person's life and how it changed so many other lives. Bob Dylan grew up in Minnesota, and he had such a burning desire. You know, we admire people who have these talents to play piano and guitar and harmonica and other musical instruments. And then they can sing on top of it, and they can write songs. It seems like this, oh my God, this is this amazing person with all of these talents. And yet you are also an amazing person, because I believe that everybody has their own uniqueness to them, that there's something within each and every one of us that we're here to do on this earthly plane. And there are some times that you feel like that a complete unknown, like a rolling stone, like you're just moving along your day, your life, your week, and you turn around and go, what happened? Where did that time go? What happened to what I wanted to do in this life? Where's that burning desire? What's happened within you that light, that vision for your life isn't out there? Now, I'll tell you up straight, if you've been listening to this, you know that my passion is to help women. Women who, at first I used to say, overwhelmed, stressed out, and looking for their purpose. And yet I feel it's deeper than that, that if you really want to invest in yourself, you have this burning desire. You may be already a coach, an entrepreneur, a thought leader, you know, a million different things. We don't do it alone. We go there faster with others. Whether we're looking for a healthy relationship or our health to be healthier, or the big one for most of us, prosperity. Whether we want to bring that prosperity in our life, because let's face it, if you're going to make a difference in this world, if you want to change something, you're not going to be able to do it without the funds, the abundance in your life supporting you while you make a difference in that world. So in 1961, Bob Dylan had a burning desire to meet one person who inspired him beyond all others. And that was Woody Guthrie. And what was the impetus for him to come to New York City to meet Woody was the fact that he read an article that Woody was in a hospital and not doing well. And he wanted to meet his hero before something else happened. Now, this is the part in this part of the movie that is telling you about that. He came, he met Pete Seeger, because Pete and Woody were very close friends, and Pete supported Woody when he was really at his sickest times, and that was the beginning when he sat in that room and sang a song and played his guitar for Woody, that Woody and Pete heard this musical genius, this talent, this ability, this man with a heart and a passion and a soul to sing and to let it out and to just follow what he loved doing, absolutely loved doing. And that's when Pete introduced him to Greenwich Village in New York City, and he played on stages, and he performed, and people heard him and went, wow, we got to get this guy to get a record deal. And it was in 1962 that he did get a record deal. But in between, there were others who covered his songs. And there's some very notable songs that you might think of with other performers, like Blowin' in the Wind. That was a song that I loved. I sang it in chorus. I heard it on the radio and records, and I even saw Peter, Paul, and Mary perform it live. They covered that song because it was believed that if they cover that song and they're already a bit popular, well, then Bob Dylan would have more popularity. And that's the same that went for The Times They Are A-Changing. I think that is one song, if you're not familiar with it, that is still very current today. And many of Bob Dylan's songs are current today. And The Times They Are A-Changing were inspired by civil rights movement. And it was covered by a group called The Byrds, which, you know, Peter, Paul, and Mary, the Byrds, you may not know or may not remember. But it was also sung with Joan Baez, who was another folk singer and who became very popular and who sang a lot with Bob himself on many tours. And in fact, they performed at the Newport Folk Festival in Newport, Rhode Island. Now, this was a music festival that was inspired first by jazz, and many jazz players played there, and then the folk people came in like 59 to 69 or something like that. And it's had its little hiatus and downtime, but it is still the Newport Music Festival. But at the time in the 60s, the way folk music was is you had a guitar. You might have drums playing behind you, but it was the strings of the guitar. And Bob Dylan had his guitar, and he had a harmonica. He really performed beautifully on harmonica. Wasn't maybe a popular instrument, but there it was. That is until he had changed. In fact, he was influenced, I believe it's by someone in the UK, and the electric guitar. And he so wanted to change up some of the music that he played, some of the music that he wrote. And the man was one of these people who, you know, the muse came and he is up and writing music. He's looking at newspapers. He's inspired by life. Anything that seemed to come into playing and being, he was inspired. So how does it feel to have a burning desire within you that you're not following through on, that you're not making it top of mind, that this is so important that I am going to do this, and you're a complete unknown? Now, it doesn't mean that you go from nobody to stardom. Nothing is instant stardom for anyone. We all have our ups and downs. We all start somewhere. We all perfect what it is that we do over and over again. Some things work and some things don't work. You go back to the drawing board, you go back to your meditation, you go back to what's really important. And what was really important to Bob Dylan was to be able to play the kind of music he wanted to play. He was inspired by, he heard, he lived. And in fact, there's several scenes in there that show how when you have a talent and when there's, and it's not just Bob Dylan, it's other musicians, actors and actresses, you perform well at one thing and they say, oh, you're really good at that. You're an action star. You're going to do that. You're a great dancer. You're going to do that. You are good at comedy or tragedy. That's what you're going to perform. And so you never, even writers, J.K. Rowling, she's graded all these 7+ books of Harry Potter, and everybody wanted her to be there. When she said, oh, I want to play in this pond for a while. And that was the same for Bob Dylan. Like, hey, I'm producing all this music, everything that's going on, I'm making you money, and yet everybody wants a piece of me. Everybody thinks they know who I am. And those closest to him realized that he didn't know who he was. We're not all the nice guy. We're not all just focused on our burning desire. There's so much more that we seem to be a part of. But when you show up at a party and they want to know, where's your guitar? You're going to sing for everybody. It's like, I thought this was a social occasion. I'm not the dog and pony show. I'm not to be put up on some pedestal in which to sing. And yet one of my favorite little scenes in this that was so telling is that the woman who accompanied him to the party followed him out when he left. And they're talking to a man who was there, a musician, and he said, well, I'm going to go play at this place, and, you know, maybe you'll come. And he went one way, and Bob went the other way, and this woman's like, hey, you know, what about me? And what about you? What about you? What is it you want? I'm off. I'm going here. But I love you, she says. You love me? You just met me. What we love is what we perceive to be this image on a screen. Here we are in a little box on a screen. Love it, don't like it, resound to it, don't resound to it. It's okay. Not everything is for everybody. So if you want to make a difference in this world, if you have that burning desire, how does it feel to follow your passion? How does it feel to move throughout your day loving what you do? How does that feel? Because right now you're without a home. A complete unknown. It takes time, it takes energy, it takes commitment to yourself to stand up for what you want. And that's self-care. that's really saying, I'm taking care of me. I'm tired of listening to what everybody else is telling me. I'm tired of people pulling me back, trying to tell me you fit in this box. And even Bob Dylan decided, I don't fit that box anymore. My guitar is now electric. My songs have a different vibration and a different feel. But the words, the heart of his words and soul was still the same. He changed his image. He didn't necessarily change his outer image, but we do as we discover a new personal image and as we move forward in life. Excuse me. If you're looking to invest in yourself, then it's a conversation. I have a program that I love to work through. I have a couple of programs. I have ways to get in touch with different community and the ways to help you get clarity on what you want, become aware of what it is you're doing now that holds you back from what you desire. And then I'm there to support you as that new perspective, that new self-image, the new way you walk and being in the world is there. I believe that this is more than the time to stand up and say, it's about me. It's about making the changes. It's not about being selfish. It's not about ego. It's about really owning who you are. And it starts with a conversation. Thanks for being here, for investing your time in the little bit of time that I put out some of these videos. Take a look at yourself in the mirror tonight and ask, how would it feel to follow my passion, to take that burning desire and make it a reality, to manifest in ways you never thought possible? Inspired action, intuition. And the one thing I don't say that I believe in, and I find myself thinking, oh, why didn't you do it that way, is that intuition is the heart of innovative business. Thanks.